Hey everyone, Levi here. Welcome to today's video. In this one, we're going to be leaning a little bit away from the typical SEO content and instead talk about Google Ads. And I've put together a little tutorial on how to set up a Google ad campaign in 2024. And in this, we'll go through a little bit of a step-by-step guide on what you need to know for Google Ads and some common mistakes that I know a lot of my clients have made before they started working with me, and really just a lot of people make on their first ad campaign. So what I have here is a brand new ad account that I've never used before, so this will look really similar to what you have, as well as a quick document here, which you can of course download, that just goes over a couple top things to that you can do for a Google Ads. So we'll flip between these two and make sure that by the end of this video, which will hopefully be about 10-15 minutes, you'll be in a tip-top shape for setting up your first ad campaign and getting some new calls for your business. I'll just clean up the window here and make sure you can see everything. So yeah, the first thing I want to talk about here, and we'll get into the screen share in a minute on the ad account, is a little bit about how Google Ads works. So Google Ads operates through an auction system where advertisers like yourself can bid on keywords. But in this, the highest bidder doesn't always win. Instead, Google uses a little bit of a formula, and that formula goes something like ad rank, which is how high up on page one you show, equals the bid, which is the amount you're willing to pay, times the quality score. Now, the quality score is something unique to your ad, which has three components that kind of play into that, which is ad relevance, landing page relevance, and click-through rate. Now, this is really good information and something that honestly most people don't know, and honestly, even a lot of Google Ads specialists might not even know. I wouldn't say they could call themselves specialists, but they probably do. And this is new stuff to a lot of folks. So definitely if you have a notepad, write these three terms down. But in a nutshell, kind of what those mean are, so the first, ad relevance, talks about or relates to how closely your ad matches the user's search term. So when you're running ads, most people run ads using a broad match. So let's say you have an AC installation business and you're running ads for AC install. If you run ads for AC install, but it's a broad match, if someone Googles um, AC contractor near me, that might show up. It's only somewhat relevant. It's not an extremely relevant term, but if they specifically type in AC install, which is exactly what you're running an ad for, you're going to be a lot more relevant. That is one of the things that plays in your quality score. The next one, and even easier to illustrate, is the landing page relevance, which in short ensures that the landing page is relevant to the ad and the search. So if we continue with that AC example, let's say as a whole, let's say you generally have an HVAC business and you do a whole bunch of services, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, maybe even some plumbing, stuff like that. If you're running the same AC install ad we're talking about here, and it just runs to the home page. So someone Googles it, they see your ad, they click, but they're just on, acmehvac.com that talks about all the stuff you do, and AC is only a portion of that. That's not super relevant. But if you have a specific service page on your site called AC installation and the ad goes to that, that's going to be extremely relevant. Google is going to see that and they're going to like that. The next and last thing is the click-through rate, which is basically the percentage or the rate that shows how often people click on your ad compared to how often it's shown. And the higher click-through rate you have will mean the higher ad rank you have. The reason the click-through rate is important is Google prioritizes ads with a really high click-through rate, even if their bids are a little bit lower. And that's because ads with higher click-through rates do generate more revenue for Google. So in short, if you can get a high click-through rate by having really good ad copy, really relevant search terms, and good landing page relevance, you can actually save money on your Google Ads compared to your competitors, and you can get to the top of page one on a bid for AC install, even though you're paying a little bit less than the guy next door. Which again is a big thing, because there'll be a lot of folks, they start off running their ads and they have a really low ad score and they're bidding a lot. 30, 40, $50 a click is common for a lot of these HVAC words, and they're wasting their money, because if they had their campaign set up better, they'd be saving that. So anyways, that's just a couple important things to keep in mind as you're setting up your first campaign. Now we'll get into the actual campaign. So when you're in a Google ad campaign, there's a few things that you've got. You have your ad account, your campaigns, and then your ad group, and then your keywords. So in here, this is a brand new ad account. I just made this for this video. It's never been used. So if you create an a Google ad account, it's going to look a lot like this. If this video is not talking about how to make ad accounts, if you want to make an ad account and you don't know how, check out my videos on that. Just search up my name with that. And honestly, there's loads of videos. It's a really straightforward process. But anyways, once you have a new ad account, you'll be in there. And like I said, there's a few components to ads. The first one is campaigns. So I'll open that up here. And then within campaigns, you can create ad groups and then keywords. So it's just a brief bit of organization. You have your whole account, then you're going to have a campaign. So again, we'll just stick with that same example. If you have an HVAC business, you're probably going to have a campaign for lead generation. So you'll probably just call it Acme HVAC. And then you're going to have each ad groups that talk about different keywords. So you'll probably have an ad group for AC, you'll probably have an ad group for heating, and you'll probably have an ad group for, let's say you also do plumbing services. You'd have an ad group for plumbing. And then within each ad group, you're going to have the different keywords you're talking about. So we'll kind of keep that thing where we've got the AC ad group, and then the keywords we're talking about will probably be AC installation, AC repair, AC install near me, kind of the generic keywords you'd expect you'd have. And then in the heating ad group, you'd have the heating words and that stuff. So that way you keep it organized. And one reason this is really important is because you can allocate budget between ad groups as you need. So for example, in the summer, you're going to spend more money on your AC ad group. And then in the winter, you're going to turn that down a bit and spend more money on your heating ad group. And it just keeps it really easy. I know with my clients all the time, they're moving budget between different services they offer based on seasonality or which divisions are busier. So again, you want to keep things organized like that. What I'm going to do here is just go into a quick split screen and let's do this. And then that way you can follow along with both. Perfect. Okay. So to start a new campaign, you're going to create a new campaign. So again, you're on ads.google.com and you're going to create a new campaign. So up here, you'll click the plus sign, or there might even be a big button that says new campaign. New campaign. So this first part is important and it's really easy. The two options you're going to want to look between are sales and leads. If you have an e-commerce business, you're selling t-shirts, you're selling tanning lotion, you're selling anything, you're going to want sales. But if you run a local service business, you have an HVAC business, a plumbing business, you're a chiropractor, dentist, anything like that, you're going to want to click leads. The majority of my clients, well over half, are local service businesses. So we'll kind of stick with the common example and go to leads. And then we've got our campaign type. So again, here we're going to start with a search campaign. This is kind of your most generic one. The other ones are going to be shopping. That's not relevant unless you're an e-commerce store. Video, that's on YouTube. Again, but your typical search ads, when you Google something, you see they'll sponsor at the top. Those are search ads. So that's what we're going to focus on here. Performance Max is the other one some of you might consider as an option, but that's going to be more in the future. And like I said here, once you have some conversion data, you can look at that. But again, just for starters, we're going to go to search and then continue. And then the next thing here is going to be your conversion goals. So here, there's a few options on what your conversions might be. So again, you have an HVAC business. What do you care about? Probably you're going to want phone calls, or you're going to want people submitting that get a quote request on your website. So in that case, we're going to click probably form submissions. I think as businesses scale, they prefer to get those quote requests. If you want phone calls, you can do that. But generally, you're going to be looking at form submissions from your website if they're coming to your website. From your ads means that people can get that quote request right in Google, but generally going to want them to come to your website. And then campaign name. This is just going to be something like Acme HVAC leads. Enhanced conversion, you can just leave that on. Google's actually shifting everyone to have ad conversions in the future. Okay, so again, we're focusing on conversions. You're going to want to look at that. Set a target here, 1 second, I just got to make this a little bit bigger. Target cost per action is your target cost per call. So again, you have a business, you're going to want to be getting calls for AC installation. You're probably looking at about $150 a call because a few people are going to have to click. I would leave that blank for now until you have some options, and then you can go through. Anyways, campaign settings. So on these partners network, display network, you can just leave those on, and then location for campaign. This is really, really important. This is an easy mistake so many people make. You're going to want to, so I'm in Canada, so you can pick Canada. I forget if in here. So yeah, what you're going to want to do is specifically target just your local area. So I live in Vancouver, Canada. There's about 4 million people who live in the Vancouver area. Depending on your type of service, you'll want to get more or less granular than this. So that's a pretty broad area. You're looking at about 2-hour drive from one edge to the other. So you're probably going to want to narrow down to a specific area. So this is one specific town, especially if you're like a chiropractor or something like that. You want really local business, really local customers. So again, you can pick your area there. But for this example here, just to have a broader reach, we will just do all of Vancouver. But again, you want to pick your specific area and make sure you're getting to the right level of granularity. Languages, English, broad match keywords. When you're here, you'll want to start using broad match keywords, and then as you proceed, you can turn that off. Keyword and asset generation. So where are people going to go when they click your ad? This is the end URL. So again, you have an HVAC business. So you're going to, let's say acmehvac.com. And then, so that's where they're going. This is actually I made a little mistake here. This is Google's AI generation. This is a really good tool if you need a little bit of help with your copy. I would suggest you play around with that. For the purpose of this ad, just to brief you, we will skip that. And then now we're making the actual ad. So here we are in our first ad group. So like I mentioned, you're going to want ad groups for each of the services you provide. So the first ad group will be AC install. You'll probably another ad group for heating or whatever else you provide. If you're a chiropractor, you'll probably have one for chiro, shockwave therapy. You kind of get the idea. So the final URL here would be acmehvac.com/AC install, assuming you have a page for that. If you don't, definitely make one. And what products or services you can advertise will be AC install. And things like that. And again, these are the keywords. So these are ideas you'll have on what you want to advertise for. AC con. And just get a few ideas. Google will help you from there. If you want to start off and do well, what you can do is open the Google Keyword Planner. I'll have another video on that as well, and you can find specific words that are really popular and well used in your area. You'll definitely want to do that. And we have a few examples here, extra words. So you can look through that and just remove the ones that aren't relevant. HVAC repair will take that off. But yeah, you can see that having air conditioning installed, that's pretty top of funnel work. You'll skip that too. Anyways, final URL, we have that here. So we'll do that. And then how will it look? You'll see it here. So then here's the actual ad. So the headlines, these are the actual ads. If you have ChatGPT, you can get a couple examples. But as an example headline, you'd probably write something like AC install Vancouver if you're in Vancouver. Another example would be AC install near me. And then a third one would be, would be a good one, new AC unit install. So the benefit here is this will allow you to A/B test each of your examples. Anyway, so those are your examples there. Now for the descriptions, this is going to be a little bit more in depth and will allow you to describe a little bit what your service is. So you need a new PC unit. Acme HVAC is the top provider in Vancouver. Call for a quote. Now, I'm not giving an example on copywriting here. I'm just doing things that come to the top of my head. But that would be an example there. And again, you'd want to come up with another in here, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I want to keep the video quick. And then that's pretty much everything. The last thing here are the, I think, what else do we need? I'm just trying to brief it. Yeah, so that's everything. And then last thing here is budget. So you're going to want to set a budget that allows for at least 10 clicks per day and kind of adjust based on your cost per click. With these HVAC words, you're probably looking at cost per clicks of about $5 to $50 depending on the word. So let's assume we're bidding on cheaper words. That's going to be a daily budget of about $80 or so. And you can kind of scale that up and down depending on where you're at. I would say for your average local service business, if you don't have at least $1,000 to play with, I'd probably hold off on running ads. And then that's pretty much everything. And that's going to be your campaign. So Google's just checking for errors now. Okay, so errors. What do we have here? We can troubleshoot these. View errors. Probably going to be ones that have to do. Oh, here we go. Ads. Oh, so the last issue we had, it's because I used a fake URL. So if you plug in your actual address here, you'll have that. But we'll just put in, we'll just leave it blank. So anyways, that's the issue there. When you put in when you do your own ad campaign, you won't have that. And that's pretty much everything you'll need to do. And like you said, it was just like you saw, just publishing that. But that's the entire setup. And when you do it yourself, you won't have that. So that's most of the video. Once you do that, or once you've built that on an ongoing basis, you're going to want to monitor your campaign. So you can look at that, look at your cost per conversions, and look at your cost per clicks and adjust based on that. There'll be another video on setting up conversion tracking. That's a really big thing, and that's monitoring how many people actually call in from your ads. This video is already getting a little bit long, so we'll want to save that for a future one. But that should get you up and going on Google Ads. So quick video here. I know a lot of those tutorials are about an hour long. Hopefully this is a fraction of that, and I hope you guys find that useful. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to get back to you there. And if there's any other tips you'd recommend, also leave those in the comments. Then other people can check those out. But otherwise, that's the video. And I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Take it easy and goodbye.